Well, I would even go on record right now and saying that this New York team, their starting five, is the best starting five in the NBA on paper. Now,
all right, boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're going to be reacting to Bobby Marks saying that the New York Knicks have the best starting five in basketball, and I'd absolutely have to agree with him. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm named Knicks Daily. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I have been my entire life, but at the same time, I believe in what we have, and it all started, of course, going out and getting Jaylen Brunson, and I knew if we put the proper pieces around him, we'd be able to win a championship, and here we are. We're now all in, championship or bust, and I absolutely love it. Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best players in basketball. He does not get enough credit. First of all, Minnesota was the #1 seed last year, the #1 ranked defense. And guess who was guarding Jokic in the playoffs? It was not Rudy Gobert, it was Karl-Anthony Towns. We've got an elite rim protector. Outside of that, Cat doesn't give you much defensively, but does it matter? We've got Josh Hart at the 4. We've got OG Anunoby at the 3, and Mikal Bridges at the 2. We've also got Miles McBride, who can defend, coming off the bench. So we're surrounding Cat and Brunson with very high-level elite defenders. And on top of that, guys that can put the basketball in the hoop, guys that can play make, just guys that make winning plays. They're out there to win. Every single player on our roster is here to do one thing, and that's to win a championship. There's no more selfishness, of course, and that's something that I just love about this roster. And Cat as well, the upside is through the roof because we're talking about a guy who's the best three-point shooting 7-footer in NBA history, and the numbers back that up. You look at all of the guys who have taken 200 plus threes. Cat has the highest percentage at 40. 20 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, 47% from the field. I mean, Cat was at what, 41% from 3? Let me look that up quickly. He was at 3-point percentage, 41.6%. I mean, this is a big time pickup for the Knicks. And I'll add even one more thing, is that Cat played the best basketball of his career with, guess which coach? Yes, that's right, Tom Thibodeau. I mean, this was just an ideal trade for the Knicks because Julius Randle's coming off of an injury. Would Randle even fit in with this team? He's not a good three-point shooter. He's never been good in the playoffs. And his contract was certainly coming to an end. I mean, he had a player option, so Randle could have just left the Knicks for nothing. So to get rid of Randle for Cat is an absolute steal. And for DiVincenzo, yeah, I didn't want to give him up. He was one of my favorite players, but he complained about a reduced role. He said, hey, look, I'm coming off a career year. I took 10 threes a game. I made 40% of my threes. I was a good defender. I improved my playmaking. I had big games in the playoffs. And all of a sudden, I'm coming off of the bench. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And in Devo's defense, he's absolutely correct. He had an amazing season, and there's no way in hell he should be coming off of the bench on any team in basketball. But that's the thing with the Knicks, is they're not starting him over Mikal Bridges, who they just gave up all those draft picks for. And again, Mikal Bridges is better than Devo. I'll admit that, even though I really like him. But so that's the thing, is the Knicks, it's not like they said, oh, well, you said that, you're gone. They were going to trade him anyway. But that makes it even better. We had a guy who was complaining about his role. We have a guy coming off an injury that may have just left the team and we get nothing in return. We put those two guys together with a protected first that probably doesn't convey because the Pistons are just a bad basketball team. All of that for Karl-Anthony Towns? I mean, are you kidding me? A former #1 overall pick, a guy who is as dynamic as really almost any player in the game. I mean, he's very, very talented. I don't think people are giving Cat enough credit. They're saying he's soft, and maybe you guys think that's true, maybe not, I don't know. But all I know is that I wanted Cat as a Knick. I made a video in July saying that, yeah, I would trade Julius Randle for Cat. I don't even think I would hesitate. And it happened. So I love it. I absolutely love it. But in terms of our starting five, yes, it's the best in basketball. We've got Jaylen Brunson. I don't care who we're facing in the Eastern Conference playoffs. We have the best player on the court. I don't care if it's Embiid. I don't care if it's Giannis, if it's Tatum, if it's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brunson will be the best player in that series. He's coming off of a playoffs where he put up numbers that hadn't been seen since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Brunson is not the best defender. I don't care, though. He gives you 30 points every single night on good efficiency. He play makes. He draws charges. You can even rebound the basketball. He's clutch. Did I say he's efficient? I don't even know. But I mean, yeah, I think I did say that guy. I'll say it twice because Jaylen Brunson is efficient. I mean, he gives you 50% from the field, 40 from 3, 85 from the free throw line. And in the fourth quarter, when the game's on the line, put the ball into his hands and let him make some plays. So we've got the best player. We've got Cat, who I just talked about, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart. What do all three of those guys have in common? They're very good perimeter defenders. That's exactly the thing. Cat is a good rim protector. He's not the best overall defender. So we pair guys around him that can defend. We pair guys around him that are efficient three-point shooters. And yes, Josh Hart in the regular season was not the best three-point shooter, but in the playoffs, he shot 37% from three. And Hart to start off in the first round was nearly automatic. And we saw, of course, Game 6 closeout in Philly. Hart knocks down the game-winning three. We saw in Game 1, Josh Hart knocking down multiple clutch threes. So Hart, his strength isn't three-point shooting, don't get me wrong. But the fact that he can give you 10 boards a night, gives you good defense, he can slash. In my opinion, he's the best coast-to-coast player in basketball. And I always say this, and Knicks fans disagree, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I think Josh Hart is the best coast-to-coast player in basketball. Over Giannis, over LeBron, you name it, guys. Whenever he gets the rebound and he goes down, and one, free throws, just straight finish. I mean, it's just impressive, especially considering his height. I mean, Josh Hart is 6'4", averaging 12 boards in the playoffs, 5 assists, 15 points, and he was efficient. I mean, I want a Josh Hart jersey. It's as simple as that. I mean, Josh Hart, he's the type of player where I would frame his jersey in my office right now where I make these videos for you guys over at Knicks Daily. I want to get a Josh Hart jersey, man. I remember when we lost to the Pacers in Game 7, there was a fan who was holding up a Josh Hart jersey, and he just embodies what it is to be a New York Knicks, guys. I mean, you have to understand, us diehard Knicks fans, if you're still watching, you're obviously a diehard Knicks fan, or you're just curious on the video. We've gone through a lot. I mean, when I was in high school, we didn't make the playoffs actually 1 year. That's 4 years of high school. So I remember just watching all those games, bad team after bad team, bad draft pick after bad draft pick, and all of a sudden we got Kristaps Porzingis, and he looked promising, but just as quick as he came in, he was out. We traded him, and that trade was actually one of the best in Knicks history because that freed up salary for us to be able to get a Julius Randle and a Jaylen Brunson, and then we ended up trading around, and we got certainly a guy like a Miles McBride. And we were able to, get draft capital, and we were able to, trade Emmanuel quickly, where we drafted quickly, and then we ended up moving him and RJ Barrett for OG and Anunoby, which was a big trade. And then, of course, picks left over. Remember that draft where we didn't even make a pick? We just moved, the pick to Pistons. They got Jalen Duren. Well, that helped us, of course, go out there and get, a guy like, well, it helped us get Brunson technically because we traded Kemba Walker and somebody else, and then that money helped us get Brunson. So obviously I don't have everything pulled up. I can't remember every little move, but those moves ended up being the biggest thing, right? So that's where it started. Leon Rose, when he came in, that's where it started. And who else have OG and Anunoby? I'll talk about OG and I'll talk about Bridges and then we'll get out of here. But my thing with OG is the numbers don't lie. The Knicks didn't lose back-to-back games when he was out there. The Knicks went from a pretty decent defense to an elite defense, the number 1 ranked defense. Our net rating was the best in basketball. His net rating was the best. I think it was actually might have been in NBA history. It was that good. And I like OG because he's an elite defender. He's versatile and he's efficient. He's a three-point shooter that you can't leave open. And he also shot 50.5% for the Knicks in the playoffs. OG was brilliant, man. What he does defensively, he can guard pretty much 5 positions. You can guard 4 positions, but you could put him on centers at times, and he can handle his own. So, and then Mikal Bridges. Bridges is, I still can't believe he's a Knick. Mikal Bridges is one of my favorite players in the league just because of his defense, his swagger, his three-point celebration. I'm doing it right now. Ooh, you guys can't see me, and then his corner three-point shooting. I think he's the best corner three-point shooter in basketball. And just to have that on the Knicks is going to open up their offense. And with Cat, Jaylen Brunson, there's a lot of pressure on him. Can you win a championship as a 6'2" guard? I'm looking at Isaiah Thomas and I'm looking at Steph Curry. I don't believe anybody else has ever done it. So do I believe in Brunson? Absolutely. Can it happen? We'll find out. But man, Jaylen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. I could kiss Leon Rose right now, man. No Diddy though.